What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel and thank you for tuning in. Today's an exciting day because we're changing something on the front end of this truck. And honestly, I think a lot of you guys are going to like the look of this. Honestly, I've contemplated doing this since I bought this truck 5 years ago. However, I've been kind of like more of like a street truck, like a nice low and wide look for the entire past 5 years, 70,000 miles of the truck. However, I've started to kind of like the look of like the 18-inch bead locks and 35s or 37s. And the more off-road type style trucks versus like the low and wide style street trucks. If you catch my drift, let me explain if you don't. All right, so I like the front end of the truck, and honestly, I am gonna change one thing back. I put these chrome tow hooks on a couple videos ago, and honestly, as much as I like them, I just don't think they fit the style of truck, unfortunately. So the first thing we are gonna do is we're gonna knock off those chrome tow hooks. I'll probably just throw those back on Marketplace. I like them. They look good on a lot of show trucks. However, for some reason, they just do not look good on this truck. However, that's not the big thing we're doing. The big thing that we're doing, which is not really big, is we're finally going to be taking off the lower valence with the chicken lights, if you will, and we're going to be replacing it with a good old package from CJC Off-Road. In this package, you will find a CJC front intercooler guard to basically replace that valence and give the truck a little bit more height up front, if you will, and then the mounting hardware with it. And honestly, this should be a pretty easy and straightforward install, maybe 15-20 minutes at max. You're pretty much just taking off all probably like 35 of the valence bolts. I mean, I have to actually undo the wiring for the valence lights that I have on here, and then you're pretty much bolting up the CJC intercooler guard and then kind of going from there. And so, not like it's a big excuse or anything at all. However, at my property that I'm building a house on currently, it's basically a construction site, and I am quote-unquote off-roading, kinda, and the valence, the front valence actually does catch on some of the dirt and things of that nature just because it does sit kind of low. The truck's pretty much stock height. I only have a 1-inch third and level on it, so it is kind of low up front, so this might help a little bit with some ground clearance issues up front. So let's get this valence off and get the new intercooler guard installed, and we'll see how she looks. So underneath the rusty bucket, pretty much what you're doing, you're knocking all these 10mm bolts out the whole way along this. There are 2 clips up front, but see, one of the reasons why I don't really care for this valence kit is all this wiring, all this loom sticks down below, and you could put it up here on the loom, like on the valence, all you want, but vibrations kick it back down, and I think it looks kind of bad. So let's take all these bolts out. Should be able to drop this valence and literally put the new one on. All right, guys, well, old valence is off with all the chicken lights, the valence lights, if you will. And I didn't put the new cover on yet, the intercooler guard yet, but dang, she looks a lot cleaner already, in my personal opinion. Like I said, kind of gives that truck a little bit more height up front. So let's get we'll get the bracketry on, get that thing on, and then like I said, I still got to change out the tow hooks because I think they do not fit. And then yeah, that'll be it. All right, guys, what do you think of the new look for the Ram? I know millions of people have this done to their trucks across the freaking country. And I mean, I'm late to the party, but I think it looks really good. I think it cleans up very nice. Honestly, bringing back the black tow hooks, 100% game changer. Truck looks so much better. I like the polished tow hooks on some people's trucks. I thought I would like it on my truck. However, every time I turned around and looked at this truck, I'm like, man, those are out of place. And man, putting the black tow hooks back really menaces out the front of this truck again, being completely color matched in black. And then as far as the CJC intercooler guard, man, it looks phenomenal. Looks like my truck is taller than it really is, right? I only have a 1-inch leveling kit on this truck. Looks like there's a freaking 5-inch lift on it. It looks really good, looks really clean. The only gripe that I do have about it, and I will say, the product is amazing. The install was really nice. Now I did have to move my plow mount brackets forward a little bit to get the CJC brackets to fit, but that was no big deal. Two 24-inch bolts, nothing. Now the only gripe I do have about this kit is the hardware itself, because the factory hardware for the bumper up front is like a, oh man, I forget, I did this not too long ago. It's like a 12mm bolt. The new hardware brackets for the, for the CJC mount is like a 13mm bolt. And then to actually mount the plate to the brackets, they're 15mm bolts. So you gotta have 3 different size, sockets and wrenches to put this on. So that's my only gripe. I wish it was all, if Ram uses from the factory on this front bumper 12s, which I believe that's what it was, it's either 12s or 13s, use that for the whole thing instead of using, 15s for the plate and 13s for the bolts and 13s for the brackets and things of that nature. That's my only gripe, but otherwise I think it looks amazing. If you want to get up close and dirty, I mean, it looks pretty good. I have it centered decently, but this is what I mean. Like, these are the factory bolts from Ram, and I forget, they're either 12 or 13s or something like that, and you have to reuse one. But then the bolts on, like the bracket bolts, you got to use another size. And then the bolts up here, it's another size. And I guess while I'm on it, we live in Pennsylvania, well, I live in Pennsylvania, so that's just like a Allen head key. That's gonna rust out and never come back off in about a year being on this truck. I know a lot of you guys that are out west and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about rust, but this is on this truck. Those Allen head bolts are gonna get so rusty within, this literal winter, they'll never come off again. So that's the only gripes that I do have about it, but otherwise I think looks-wise, it looks so much better. I'm happy to take the valence slice off and, run something different here for a little bit. And honestly, this might be the look, like I said. So that's all. Sorry for talking so much. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe, join the family, join the old Cummins builder here behind me. We'll see you guys next upload. Peace.